Have you seen a Komodo dragon taking down a full-grown buffalo? How about a wild boar being ripped into shreds by a vicious Komodo? Komodo dragons are some of the most vicious predators, and their attacks are just as deadly as these monsters are. If you want to watch the horror of Komodos unfold, stay tuned. 11 terrifying times Komodo dragons became merciless monsters. Number 11. Komodo dragon versus buffalo. The Komodo dragon and the buffalo are two of the most iconic and awe-inspiring creatures found in Indonesia's diverse ecosystem. While Komodo dragons are known to take down prey twice their size, taking on a prey as huge as a buffalo is never an easy task. Let's take a look at what happens when these two giants collide in an epic fight. Here's a herd of buffaloes that has gathered at a water hole to cool off from the scorching heat. The herd is enjoying their mud bath, completely unaware of the predator that's headed their way, a massive Komodo dragon. The reptile squares off with one of the buffaloes and immediately tries to snap at its jaws. The dragon follows its target and goes for a second attack and bites the buffalo's leg to immobilize it. Even though the beast shrugs off the dragon, we see that the bite has inflicted a severe injury as the buffalo bleeds profusely. The venom instantly does its job and weakens the buffalo. Number 10. Komodo dragon versus deer. Deer are on top of the list when it comes to animals that are highly elusive. If you have ever seen videos of predators chasing after deer, you know how hard it is for these hunters to catch one. These creatures are not just exceptionally agile, they are also capable of running at lightning-fast speeds. So, what do you think happens when a Komodo dragon meets a deer in the wild? This next video might have some answers for us. Here's a deer that has gotten too close to a Komodo dragon. As soon as the deer draws in, the dragon lunges forward. It tries to snap its jaws and latch on to the deer, but the deer is quick enough to dodge its attack and flee. Otherwise, things could have been really ugly for this deer. Number 9. Komodo dragon versus leopard shark. Leopard sharks are a relatively small species of shark that get their name from the distinctive pattern of black spots on their backs and sides, which resemble the spots on a leopard. These aquatic creatures are primarily scavengers and feed on a variety of marine animals, including fish, crabs, and shrimp. Now, given their size, it's clear that these sharks don't really stand a chance against a deadly Komodo dragon. This Komodo dragon has just noticed a live leopard shark and it's going in for the kill. The dragon grabs its target in its jaws, but the shark manages to slip out. The shark even tries to escape, but the water is too shallow for it to swim away. Eventually, the Komodo dragon manages to catch its prey and keeps biting it before finally eating it whole. Honestly, there wasn't much for the shark to do to fight back or even flee. Number 8. Komodo dragon versus wild boar. Wild boars have a distinctive appearance, with a stocky build, bristly hair, and prominent tusks that can grow up to several inches long. These intimidating tusks are also their primary offense and defense. But that's not all. Wild boars are infamous for being notoriously brave. These creatures will take on almost anything. Can it handle a fierce Komodo dragon? I guess we'll have to see for ourselves. Take a look at this enormous Komodo dragon that has taken down a wild boar. The boar seems to be severely injured, possibly from the dragon's venom, and is completely stuck in the mud. The boar desperately tries to drag itself out of the mud, but the lizard makes sure it doesn't escape. A few moments later, the Komodo dragon attempts to deliver a final blow and bites the boar on its nape. This Komodo dragon is approaching a wild boar that it had taken down just moments prior. The dragon bites the motionless boar and starts biting off huge chunks of flesh from its abdomen. It digs deep into the bored belly with its powerful jaws and razor-sharp teeth, rips out its entrails and starts bleeding. It looks like this Komodo dragon couldn't care any less about being merciful towards its prey. After all, it's a savage predator. Number 7. Komodo dragon versus stingray. A face-off between a Komodo dragon and a stingray is as rare as it sounds. In the wild, fights between the two rarely take place, but when they meet, things are bound to go sideways. You see, stingrays are equipped with a long whip-like tail that may have one or more venomous spines for protection. This makes facing off with them especially dangerous. Here's a Komodo dragon that has just caught a stingray. The dragon seems to have already managed to kill the stingray since it lays motionless near the water. Immediately, it starts devouring the stingray by ripping off large chunks of flesh from its body. This is an effortless meal for the Komodo dragon. Number 6. Komodo dragon versus rooster. We've already seen how effective Komodo dragons are against animals as massive as buffaloes. If these beastly creatures can be put down by these massive reptiles, a rooster's chances of surviving a Komodo attack are practically non-existent. These flightless birds don't have the adequate defenses to make it through such an overpowering attack. Can a rooster really survive a Komodo attack? The rooster in this clip keeps getting too close to a Komodo dragon, and the reptile has taken notice of the potential prey. As soon as the rooster comes within reach of the reptile, it lashes out and grabs the bird in its jaws. The rooster desperately tries to fight back and free itself, but the dragon gets a firm hold on it. The reptile tosses the bird around like a toy, but it slips out of the dragon's jaws. Even then, the rooster is unable to escape because the dragon had already injured it severely. Finally, the predator walks up to the bird and gulps it down whole. Number 5. Komodo dragon versus wild pig. Wild pigs are known for their destructive attitude. Despite being relatively small creatures, these feral pigs are shockingly able to stand their own, even against vicious apex predators. These brave little animals are loaded with sharp tusks and can charge at high speeds, and attacks from them can lead to some serious injuries for their victims. Take a look at this enormous Komodo dragon that has taken down a wild pig. The pig seems to be severely injured, possibly from the dragon's venom, and is completely stuck in the mud. The pig desperately tries to drag itself out of the mud, but the reptile makes sure it doesn't escape. A few moments later, the Komodo dragon attempts to deliver a final blow and bites the pig on its nape. Even after being completely immobilized, the pig tries to fight back, but its efforts are of no use. Number 4. Komodo dragon versus goat. The Komodo dragon is a ferocious predator that preys on a variety of animals, including goats. Once a Komodo dragon has caught a goat, it will use its powerful jaws and serrated teeth to tear apart the flesh and devour it. Despite their size, Komodo dragons are fast and agile hunters, making them one of the most formidable predators in the animal kingdom. Take a look at this Komodo dragon sneaking up on a goat. The goat is completely unaware of this because the reptile has taken advantage of a rock that's hiding its presence. As soon as the goat is in range, the dragon chases after it and grabs it in its jaws. After dragging it around for a bit, the Komodo dragons flee the scene with freshly caught prey in its mouth. This goat has unfortunately come face to face with a deadly Komodo dragon. The dragon launches an attack, but the goat dodges and immediately makes a run for its life. But this fight is far from over. The giant lizard chases after the goat and eventually catches up. The goat manages to duck through every one of its attacks. The goat trips over while escaping, and the predator takes complete advantage of this. The reptile draws closer to its target and attempts to bite its legs. After a few moments, the goat finally manages to escape, leaving its attacker behind. Number 3. Komodo dragon versus Komodo dragon. Till now, we've seen how well Komodo dragons fare up against other animals. But have you wondered what happens when these enormous reptiles decide to go toe-to-toe with one of their own kind? Since both contenders share the same strengths and weaknesses, a battle between the two will be nothing short of a clash of titans. Take a look at these two Komodo dragons fighting it out. With none of them ready to back down, both dragons collide and try to push each other away. Both of them even stand upright while fighting so that one of them can have the upper hand and be able to slam their opponent on the ground. They even try to bite their opponent and attack them with long hook-like claws. The fight rages on as both of them engage in some serious wrestling and try to take each other down. We don't really know which dragon won this duel, but nevertheless, it was one hell of an intense fight between the two. These two Komodo dragons are wasting no time as they spring right into action as soon as the video starts. Currently, the fight seems to be in a stalemate as both reptiles stand upright and try to push their opponent into submission. Just seconds later, one of the dragons manages to get the edge and slams its opponent on the ground. The reptile ends up on top of its opponent and pins it down. It looks like this Komodo dragon has won this fight fair and square. Number 2. Komodo dragon versus bat. Along with hunting large animals such as deer and boars, Komodo dragons seem to also have developed a taste for bats. These formidable reptiles have been observed to actively hunt bats at night by climbing trees and waiting patiently for their prey to emerge from their roosts. But we all know how elusive and fast bats are when it comes to avoiding prey, and grabbing one isn't an easy job at all. This Komodo dragon has its eyes fixed on a bat. The reptile tries to jump and grab the bat, but is unable to reach it. It tries a few more times and even grabs the branch to get to the bat, but that doesn't work out as well. The reptile jumps for a final time and lands a perfect strike. It manages to grab the bat and ragdolls it around, while holding it in its jaws. The bat fights back, but it's of no use since the dragon has a firm hold on it. The dragon keeps biting its prey as it retaliates. A few more bites later, the bat is finally dead. The reptile completely devours the bat before feeding on it. Number 1. Komodo dragon versus baby goat. We already know how effective Komodo dragons are against goats, especially when they aren't wary of the threat. So it's only natural that these gigantic lizards will be able to easily take on a kid. Moreover, young goats are practically defenseless without their mothers protecting them. If a kid had to face a fierce Komodo dragon on its own, there is no way it would survive that attack. This Komodo dragon is moving towards a baby goat that appears to be already dead. It's possible that the lizard itself might have killed it moments ago. The reptile goes up to the dead goat and grabs it with its immensely strong jaws. But it looks like the goat is too big to fit in. A few more attempts later, the dragon finally manages to hold the goat in its mouth and eventually starts swallowing it whole. This Komodo dragon must have really been starving. Here's another Komodo dragon that's on the move to grab a dead baby goat. The lizard picks up the goat with its jaws and tosses it into its mouth. Finally, the reptile munches a few times before gulping it down while it's still fully intact. What do you think about these Komodo dragon attacks? Do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed watching what you saw, please don't forget to drop a like. Also, we request you to share the video with friends and family as well. Lastly, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and get access to more such interesting videos like the one you just watched. Do hit the bell icon and choose all notifications to stay updated about all of our interesting content that we post here. As always, enjoy, and we'll see you in the next video soon.